Hello, Dale Majors here, and welcome to day 15 of our Masterclass. Last time, we talked about the power of a morning routine, how you can establish one, and I'm really hoping that you did the exercise and that you feel good about what you came up with. So today, we're going to talk about the power of doing hard things, how you can get better at doing hard things, and I'm going to give you a few ideas that you can use to practice doing harder things. We're going to talk about guardrails and how the power of a don't do list can help you achieve your goals. So let's jump right into it. So I've talked about before how on my mission as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we had a little manual that we called the White Bible, and it had a bunch of rules in it. A lot of it were rules about when you should wake up, when you should go to bed, how you don't go to nightclubs, and just all these little specifics. And I loved that guidance that was able to manage essentially 80,000 different young people throughout the world. And I think that we can do the same thing, and that's where we're going to talk about the don't do list. First, I want to talk about my wrestling coach, Coach Don Holtry, amazing man, and he always talked about being a champion, how a champion does one more, how you do hard things. And he was a real example to me of that idea of focusing on efforts, right? And we've talked about that, focusing on our efforts instead of being worried about our results. Just do everything you can. A champion does one more. So that's one of the ideas, right? Give an amazing effort and do hard things. So how do we get better at doing hard things? Let me tell you a story. For years and years and years, well, I guess probably 3, I had seen articles or heard mention of people that took cold showers. The thought of taking a cold shower, to me, was one of the worst things that I could think of. And intellectually, I knew that to stand under cold water and be uncomfortable for 15 seconds would not be that big a deal. But when it came to the practice of it, I would freak out. So and today, the goal is to find ways to have more personal power to do hard things, right? One book that really helped me that I want to mention is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. And he talks about how even when he was tired and emaciated and hungry and they lived on a couple hundred calories of bread and water a day, potato soup without much potatoes, and even in that state, when their feet were cold because they had shoes that were, worn out, and or no shoes and wrapped in whatever, and they're having to trudge through snow, that he couldn't act weak because he would be sent to the gas chambers. So I figured if he can do that, so if you want to, I recommend that book to everybody, but if he can do that, then maybe I could stand under cold water for 15 seconds, okay? So finally, and we talk about nudges, like there's little things that help us take action. Hopefully this series can be a nudge for you. One of the nudges I got was reading another article, my 10th article about cold showers, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take a cold shower and try this for 2 weeks and see how it goes. So this was 2 years ago. It's October. This was 2 Decembers ago. I set my timer for 2 minutes. That was the rule. Stand under cold water for 2 minutes. Don't start warm, but start cold. Cold means turning it that way for me. Starting cold and then just standing there and taking a cold shower for 2 minutes. It was really hard. I had Alexa play motivational music for me. I played Eye of the Tiger. I found out that Elvis Presley's song All Shook Up is about 2 minutes and 3 seconds. It was 2 minutes, so I'm like, boom. Stand under there, don't be a wuss for 2 minutes and do it. So it was really painful and hard. My bathroom was way cleaner during that time than it usually is because I would stand there not wanting to get in the shower and I would just tidy up. So that's what it was. Another thing that I wanted was I want to jump into the shower and not make crazy contortions with my face. I want to just stand there like the tough guy that I am and do it. Anyway, so I go through that exercise. I take a cold shower for 2 weeks. And then when I was done, I took a hot shower and I felt really bad. I didn't feel near the energy that I had felt during the cold showers. And from then I just decided, well, if they're really that much worse, then I'm just going to keep taking cold showers indefinitely. And that's what I've done. And that's what I do. So every day I have to do something hard. It's become a lot easier. But I turn the shower to cold and I just step under it and I deal with that shock. I tell my kids that anytime we do a hard walk, we take them walking and on long rides. Our 5-year-old rode 36 miles on his bike. I say anytime we do something hard, we'll be able to do something even more the next time. So I think that's the same thing with us. As we condition ourselves to do hard things, that we get better at doing those hard things. And, at least for kids, and I believe this works in adults too, as we see ourselves doing hard things, then we gain more self-esteem and we feel better about ourselves. So taking a cold shower is one way that I've found to do something hard every single day, even though it's easier now, but do something hard every single day to say that I'm in charge. I'm in charge of me, and I can do hard stuff. All right, so let's talk about fasting. Fasting has been used for thousands of years in many different religions, and in my church, we're supposed to fast every month for 24 hours. We're supposed to eat dinner, and then skip breakfast and lunch, and then eat dinner again, okay? And go without food or water. So I've been doing that fasting for, a lot of my adult life, and it's been pretty good. I heard about water fasting, and this is the same thing. I heard about it several years ago. Somebody did a 2 or 3 day fast. And then I heard about these people that went to 7-day fasting camps, and it blew my mind that they would go without eating for 7 full days. And several other people shared with me their experiences of going without food for 5 days and so on. So I decided that I was going to go without food for 2 days. It killed me. I thought I was going to die. It was really hard, but I did it. And it was so awesome. So from there, and one of the books too that inspired me to do this was a book called The Obesity Code by Jason Fung. I have a couple other videos on my channel about this. I'll actually put them in the description. My 7-day fast video. So reading that book just really made me want to try it out. And there's a few other books. Unbroken, Louis Zamperini, he went hungry on the boat for a long time. And then there's another book, In the Eye of the Storm, by John H. Groberg, who was a missionary for my church. He also he went through some starvation. And I loved hearing about the mental clarity that these people went through. So I was really interested in trying it too. So I did a 2-day fast, and then I did a 3-day fast. And a few months ago, I did a 7-day fast. And what I loved about it was that experience to really go mind over matter and to control my body, to just shut my mouth for 7 days and only drink water. It was such a cool experience. So I think the idea is that as we intentionally do some of these hard things and train ourselves to do hard, uncomfortable things, that we will be better at making deliberate choices in our lives that will be for our best good. We talked about creating an avatar, programming an avatar, deciding, I want my perfect person to do this and this and this. What kind of person do we want to be? It's important to do that. We say in Christianity, people say WWJD, right? What would Jesus do? We want to be like Jesus. So it's defining how do we want to be? Who do we want to be? Am I the kind of person who? One thing that helps me is, I think, am I the kind of person who snoozes all the time, or who doesn't wake up on time, or who shows up late to things, even though I still need to work on that? Am I the person who eats 10 cookies, even though I still sometimes have to work on that? But all those things, right? We all have our different issues. Are we the kind of person that does whatever? I think it's really important to not be too hard on ourselves, because this is just a constant work in progress. But think about what kind of person you are and what kind of person you want to be. So I want to talk about 2 more things, the don't do list, and then also kind of the power of guardrails. And let's start with that. So if you have rules for yourself where imagine that you don't want to gain 50 pounds, then if you create a guardrail rules of tracking your calories every day and only eating, whole foods, then you're probably not going to have to worry about gaining 50 pounds. But if you just wait, very passively wait, and check in on the scale every few months to see how much weight you're gaining, you're more likely to gain that weight. So creating guardrails. If I want to not spend an hour surfing YouTube videos or looking at Instagram at night, then I'll create a guardrail by saying, I access Facebook and Instagram during the day, and I don't waste my time doing that kind of thing at night. So that hour is just really hard to waste when you're not in the app in the first place. And that's why the power of the don't do list comes in, or that's how the power of the don't do list comes in, is just making decisions ahead of time. What kind of things do you want to do? What kind of things do you not want to do? When do you want to do them? If you're prone to just surf the web all night when you're just done, like when you're done for the day and you're tired and you just want to watch YouTube videos, then maybe instead of that, plan a nighttime routine where you read books. And that's your activity at night, to read one of the books by your nightstand. Whatever it is, think about creating guardrails and creating a don't do list. And for the homework today, I want you to decide on what things that you would add to your don't do list. So for me, I don't access Facebook on my phone. I don't access LinkedIn on my phone. I took the LinkedIn app off of my phone. I don't look at E-Trade on my phone, like my stock portfolio. I don't look at YouTube analytics on my phone. There were all these things that when I was low on energy or I just wanted a distraction, I'd pull out my phone and then get sucked into those things, and it would waste my time. So what kind of things do you have in your life where they're wasting your time or they're taking you off of your purpose and just not helping you be the best you? Which of those things should go onto your don't do list? Okay, so homework. Create at least 5 things that you're going to add to your don't do list. And tomorrow is one of my favorite topics, and it has to do with time management. Again, during this masterclass, if you're starting here, for example, and you wanted to learn about the hard things and take the masterclass just for the last few days, don't do it. You got to go back, because we started from purpose and values, and then we went to goal setting and what you actually want in life, and then we talk about how we can get those things through habits, and now we're going to get into the very tactical time management. And tactics without strategy is like the noise before defeat. I believe Sun Tzu said that. So we really want to make sure that our strategy is right, and now next week or tomorrow we're talking about the tactic of time management, and I'm just going to show you everything that I do that's really helped me get my life under control and schedule and deal with lots of different priorities. So there you go. Thank you for being part of the class, and I'm happy to have you here, and I'll see you tomorrow.